My name is the Honorable Alexis Jeffers, and I am your candidate for the upcoming for the past 7 years. I now want to be the leader of the constituency of Nevis 11, St. Thomas's and St. James. If we are to transform the lives of the people of Nevis 11, then I need to be your leader. I want to be your leader because I am here to ensure that we keep the momentum just as we have done in St. James. My name is the Honorable Alexis Jeffers, and I am your candidate for the upcoming federal elections for the constituency of Nevis 11. John Quincy Adams, the 6th President of the United States, once said, "If your actions inspire someone to dream more, to learn more, to do more, and become more, then you're a leader." I have been the leader of the constituency of St. James for the past 7 years. I now want to be the leader of the constituency of Nevis 11, St. Thomas's and St. James. If we are to transform the lives of the people of Nevis 11, then I need to be your leader. I want to be your leader because I am here to ensure that we keep the momentum just as we have done in St. James.
My name is Eric Evelyn. I am the area representative for St. George Gingerland in the Nevis Island administration. I am responsible for culture, youth, sports, community development, telecommunications, and information. And in my short 2 years in the Nevis Island administration, I have accomplished a lot in all of the various departments that I'm responsible for. And it's because of the fact that I've accomplished so much why I believe I should be given that nod to go into the federal election. And so I will be a candidate in the upcoming federal elections for Nevis 10. And so I am looking forward to being in the federal cabinet to continue to keep the momentum.
My name is Mark Brantley. I'm the leader of the Concerned Citizens Movement Party, and I will be contesting the constituency of number 9, where I am currently the incumbent, and I'm asking the people of number 9 to stick with me and to keep the momentum. In 2015, the Concerned Citizens Movement took a decision to join with 2 political parties on St. Kitts to form Team Unity. I think since then, the relationship between St. Kitts and Nevis is the best that it has ever been in our history. And that is why we're asking our people to keep the momentum.
My name is Eric Evelyn. I am the area representative for St. George Gingerland in the Nevis Island administration. I am responsible for culture, youth, sports, community development, telecommunications, and information. And in my short 2 years in the Nevis Island administration, I have accomplished a lot in all of the various departments that I'm responsible for. And it's because of the fact that I've accomplished so much why I believe I should be given that nod to go into the federal election. And so I will be a candidate in the upcoming federal elections for Nevis 10. And so I am looking forward to being in the federal cabinet to continue to keep the momentum.
My name is the Honorable Alexis Jeffers, and I am your candidate for the upcoming federal elections for the constituency of Nevis 11. John Quincy Adams, the 6th President of the United States, once said, "If your actions inspire someone to dream more, to learn more, to do more, and become more, then you're a leader." I have been the leader of the constituency of St. James for the past 7 years. I now want to be the leader of the constituency of Nevis 11, St. Thomas's, and St. James. If we are to transform the lives of the people of Nevis 11, then I need to be your leader. I want to be your leader because I am here to ensure that we keep the momentum just as we have done in St. James.
My name is Mark Brantley. I'm the leader of the Concerned Citizens Movement Party, and I will be contesting the constituency of number 9, where I am currently the incumbent, and I'm asking the people of number 9 to stick with me and to keep the momentum. In 2015, the Concerned Citizens Movement took a decision to join with 2 political parties on St. Kitts to form Team Unity. I think since then, the relationship between St. Kitts and Nevis is the best that it has ever been in our history. And that is why we're asking our people to keep the momentum.
My name is Eric.
Good evening, listeners, viewers. This is your CCM party coming to you from Campaign Central right here in the heart of Charlestown. And we are here tonight with one of our rally or campaign meeting going via the various online platforms. And tonight, in our great tradition that the CCM have always been known for, we often start our meeting with a word of prayer. And I want to invite those who are listening to us by radio, those who are viewing us on the internet, to just pause for a moment while we go to our Creator in a brief word of prayer. Let us pray. Holy and most gracious Father, we come to you tonight in our nothingness. We come to you, O God, seeking your continued protection on our beloved island, on our beloved federation, and on all our peoples here in St. Kitts and Nevis and throughout the world. Pray, O God, that you would be with us tonight in this rally, in this meeting. We thank you, O God, for this wonderful opportunity to use technology to reach our people. here at home and abroad. We pray, O God, that while there are some who are going through a very difficult period tonight, we ask you to continue to protect them, continue to give them that courage to stay on course with you, Lord. And Father, as this Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis prepare for a federal election, we pray that you will allow all of the political parties and all of the speakers, O God, to be respectful and to bring to the people all that is true. Take charge, O God, of tonight's meeting. And while we have this meeting, and while we enjoy ourselves, must recognize that you are God. You are our Creator. You are our forever. Thank you, O God, for this opportunity. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen and amen. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is your CCM party. And I want to say a very pleasant good evening to our viewers and our listeners here in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis and throughout the entire world. I believe that we are being seen as far as the South Pole. I believe that we are being heard even all the way on the moon because of technology. And I hope that while we come to you tonight with this meeting, that you would recognize the serious times ahead. And your CCM party is appealing to the electorate of Nevis. Team Unity is appealing to the electorate of St. Kitts and Nevis to go to the polls on the 5th of June and elect all of your Team Unity candidates. We have come from a very difficult period in our recent history. And the record would show that over the past 5 years, that St. Kitts and Nevis have made great strides. St. Kitts and Nevis have accomplished much together. And we are saying to you, the electorates, do not change course. Do not change course. Do not gamble with the good government that you have here in St. Kitts and Nevis. Do not take a chance with the other side, because the other side would have had a record of 20 years. And I believe that you would agree with me that their record has been a dismal one. Here in Nevis, we are offering you 3 distinguished, competent candidates. In St. James's and St. Thomas's, Nevis number 11, we are offering to you our Deputy Premier, the Honorable Alexis Jeffers. And I want to say to the people of Nevis number 11, time and time and time again, you have elected a man in that constituency to represent you in the federal parliament. And I want you to point to one single thing that he would have brought back to the people of Nevis. One. And when you find it, you can show me where it is. I am saying to you, the people of Nevis number 11, St. James's and St. Thomas's, with Alexis Jeffers, you can rest assured that he will deliver. In Gingerland, Nevis number 11, we have the man who I like to call the dancing minister. And if you know the Honorable Eric Evelyn that I know, he will ensure that there are serious benefits for the island of Nevis and for the people of Nevis number 10 Gingerland, and the whole of Nevis. And we have our Premier, the Honorable Mark Brantley, in Nevis number 9, St. John's and St. Paul's. And the record would show, ladies and gentlemen, that he has delivered. His record in foreign affairs have been one that many more powerful ministers of foreign affairs who would have spent decades in government have not achieved 1/10 of what he would have achieved. Say what you may. Ensure your vote on the 5th of June for the Honorable Mark Brantley, for the Honorable Eric Evelyn, for the Honorable Alexis Jeffers, and for the entire Team Unity candidates throughout the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. I want to say to you, ladies and gentlemen, viewers, listeners, you cannot gamble with your future. You cannot take a chance on what the other side is offering you. They have had a track record of 20 years. And they have left our economy in shambles. They have left a legacy in this federation of unprecedented crime and criminality. They have left a legacy where the name of St. Kitts and Nevis throughout the world was not a nice name on our ears. And today, we continue to see our economy grow in leaps and bounds. And I would be honest, it's not perfect. We continue to see that we have been able to reduce crime in our federation. And we continue to see that the name of St. Kitts and Nevis throughout the world is more acceptable. I say to you tonight, listeners and viewers, you have a choice to make. You have a decision to make. You must decide whether you want to continue to go forward, whether you want to keep the momentum, or whether you want to go back in the past to things that did not work in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. I say to all right-thinking Nevisians and Kittitians, do not make that mistake of going back. Keep going forward with Team Unity. Keep going forward with a government that cares for you and looks out for your interests. It is your choice. This is a democracy. But I say to you tonight, there is only one choice. There is only one choice in this federal election, and that is to keep going forward with Team Unity. At this time, I would like to invite our first speaker. And he is I believe he is still one of the youngest ministers of government throughout the region. And while he has been there for a little while, he is still young. A man with a bright future in politics. I believe that great things lie ahead for him. Welcome to the microphone, the Honorable Troy Youthant Liebert.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Much better, much better. I want to thank you for joining us this evening for another CCM virtual meeting in campaign 2020 for the federal government of St. Christopher and Nevis. I noticed I got a jumpy song when I came in, so I ran onto the stage as the closest you will see me come to dancing, because I'm not a dancer, I'm a talker. And tonight I'm here to talk about why we should send the 3 CCM candidates to Bastia to represent us, the people of Nevis, in the federal government. Ladies and gentlemen, the campaign has been a fast campaign. As you know, we've been on a lockdown for some time because of the scourge of COVID-19. You know, it's something that came unexpected, and it has affected all countries around the world. And I want to say, thank God that here in St. Kitts and Nevis, we have been able to manage the pandemic very, very well. So far, to date, we have had, I think it's 14 or 15 persons who would have tested positive. But thank God we have not lost any lives here yet. And it is because of the quick reaction, the quick call to action, and the timely planning that the government has put into place. And I think the government deserves some commendations for that. And here we want to continue to do the best practices, whether it's social distance, whether it's washing your hands, or whatever you need to do to ensure that we stay safe. But ladies and gentlemen, we have a constitution, and the constitution says that we need to have elections, ladies and gentlemen. We have choices to make. And here on Nevis, for me, I believe that the choices are easy. In Nevis 9, we have the incumbent, the Premier of Nevis, a man who has represented well and will continue to represent well. He's a clear choice. In number 9, in number 10, we have the Honorable Eric Evelyn. And guess what? No opposition has been named to him yet. So come nomination day, we might have a single nomination in number 10. And we might be able to call the winner of the first race as the Honorable Eric Evelyn. And I don't see, honestly, why the NRP should bother looking for a candidate in Nevis 10. It don't make no sense. Because the people of Nevis 10 understand that they will get the best representation from the CCM candidate, the Honorable Eric Evelyn. And in number 11, the choice there is clear. And you know why? Because number 11 has been represented federally by the same person since 2000. We're in 2020. That's 20 years. The people of St. Thomas's and St. James's has had the same representative in the federal house. As a matter of fact, that representative spent some time in government. From 2010, he became Attorney General. Sometime later, he became the Minister of Labor. And I want the people of Nevis to look around and ask yourselves, what have we, the people of Nevis, benefited for him serving there? What has the people of Nevis 11, the parishes of St. Thomas's and St. James's, benefited from he being there? That is a good question. I want all of you, especially the people from Nevis 11, to pause and to think about that. Think about it. What have you benefited? You know, I was under the impression that nobody in Nevis benefited from it until the Premier, who is an astute person, doing his research, did the research and found out that he gave his buddy a job as the advisor to Labour, collecting over $7,000 something per month. Well, he benefited for sure. But can the rest of you point to something that you benefited from in Nevis 11? So after 20 years, man, and you have not benefited anything, and the gentleman has been given ample time to prove that he can represent, and he has failed. After 20 years, man, it's time for a change. And you know, it is time for a change based on his non-performance. But there's another reason why it's time for a change. And the reason is that the candidate that the CCM is putting up for Nevis 11 is none other than Alexis Jeffers. And you know what? You people know Alexis Jeffers. You have seen him working. The people of St. Thomas's, you know that he's a representative for St. James in the local assembly and in the Nevis Island administration. The people of St. James, you know that he's your representative. And you know what? You know that he has been working for you. So you know the type of representation that comes with him. So I just gave you two reasons. One, because the current representative has failed. He has had 20 years to work for you and hasn't really done anything that you could point to. And the other reason is that the person on the other side is somebody who is tried, tested, and proven. And you know he's going to work for you. And you know he's going to deliver for you because he has been delivering for the people of Nevis. Ladies and gentlemen, this election 2020, this federal election, is a serious election. It's not going to change the government here in Nevis. It's not about the Nevis Island administration. We had that election in 2017, and the people of Nevis said that the CCM is the best government. We got 4 seats out of 5. Next time around, we're hoping for 5 out of 5. But this is about who will be going to Bastia to represent us, the people of Nevis, there in Bastia. And ladies and gentlemen, all of you viewing on YouTube, viewing on Facebook, I want you all to understand something, that representation of the people of Nevis on the federal stage is not something that is new, is not something that is just about to happen. For the first time, we got independence in 1983. I was a little child then. But representation has been happening even before that in colonial days. But let's talk about from independence come forward. You know, we had NRP and PAM in government. Look around. What representation did we get from that? And then in more recent times, we had the NRP and Labour in coalition. And what could the people of Nevis say that we got out of that? You know, in those days, 2010 and so on, when the NRP and Labour were in coalition, lots of money started to come into the federation. We all heard about this citizenship by investment, this big thing, lots of money coming in for passport. All of a sudden, the federation was awash with money. And guess what used to happen? If we want anything in Nevis, we had to take a loan. So the government wanted to pay for the airport lands, or so they say. They wanted to pay for the airport lands. So they went to the SIDF and they got a loan of $4 million. I don't know if it was really to pay for airport lands, because some of the money came to a government statutory body called NEPA, and some went to the craft house. So I will let the people judge for themselves. I know if the money was coming to pay for the land, it probably would have come through the treasury. But they didn't bring it to the treasury. It went to NEPA and to the craft house. So you judge for yourself as to what the money was really used for. But the thing about it, they were in coalition, and all that they could have gotten was a loan. for $4 million. So that was the best representation that they would have given to you. While at the same time, all kind of things were happening over on the other side. And I don't say that things should not happen on the other side. I'm glad when I see things happening on the other side. So Skelec get some new generators, airport get fixed up, all kind of thing get do. Where the money come from? CBI money, citizenship money, passport money. Everything happening over in Nevis. What was happening? Running up a lot of debt in Nevis. So Nevis want to do anything at the same time. Debt. So you in coalition, he using CBI money, and you running up debt. So the people of Nevis said, no, we're going to do better. And guess what? In 2015, we got the unity administration with the CCM as a part of it. Now contrast the type of representation. I remember, I think it's 2014, our Treasury building got burnt. I think I came into town like 2 o'clock in the morning. Lots of smoke. You know? The jury is still out on exactly what happened there or who did it. You understand? But the fact remains that the building burned down. So we here in Nevis need a replacement treasury. So what we do? Of course, we got citizenship money. So we went and get some citizenship money to build back over the treasury. And you cannot walk through Charlestown now without seeing the treasury building. It's the tallest building in Charlestown. It's the biggest building in Charlestown. Because of the representation that the CCM government is giving on behalf of the people of Nevis. Now, interprimary, the biggest event in Nevis is a single day event. Some people will say parade of troops. A parade of troops free and you can walk all over town. So you can't really count how much people there. But for something that is being counted and people pay to go in, it's interprimary. And we've had interprimary in El Camino Willett Park over the years, many, many years. From since when I used to go to school and I used to run. I know I don't believe that, but I could have run, I still could run. I might challenge somebody on the live tonight. But yeah, we used to run at E.T. Willett Park on the grass all the time. And the CCM government said, no, that's not good enough for the young children in Nevis. We need a state-of-the-art, world-class surface that our young people can run on and our young people can train on. So the ones that have potential, the ones that have a lot of talent, the ones that could probably become world-class athletes, could have a good foundation, could have a good place to train. And we say, yeah, we need a track. Well, in past times, other NIA governments would have probably gone and said, look, we need to go approach somebody to get a big loan to do this facility. But we were in a position, because we were part of the federal government, we could say, hey, we need something here. We need some of that CBI money. And so we have the Nevis Athletic Stadium over there, the Mondo track we call it, and we have been having sports over there for some time. And if it wasn't for the COVID virus, we would have had some big sports meets out there this year. We already had Inter-High. That was quite a success, but we would have had the big Inter-Primary over there again this year. I just feel so proud when I drive across Long Point and I drive up there and I see all the young people on the track training. Some older people just be over there running around the track too. And all of this is because of the representation of your government in the federal parliament and in the federal government and in the federal cabinet. We've had 2 ministers there in the Honorable Van Semery and the Honorable Premier Mark Vantley representing for us. And what we are saying is we've had 2 there and we've been able to get so many things done. And we're saying send an extra. We want 3. So when we go over there, Nevis speaks with one voice, singing off of one hymn sheet. And it's not just that. when they go over there to represent us, it helps us here in the Nevis Island administration to get a lot more things done for you, the people of Nevis, because that's who we're working for. When you contrast with the others who say they want to go over to Bastille, every time they go over there, they only work for themselves. Understand that they don't work to benefit anybody. It's not just the fella who went over there for 20 years and you can't point to anything that he do, you know. The other gentleman that say he running against the premier, well, he went over to St. Kitts too, you know. And he was working over there. Granted, he wasn't a minister of government, but he had a post that he was in charge of things. Well, I wonder what he do. We've all heard about it, and I think we're going to hear a bit more about that as the campaign goes on. But when they were given authority to handle small things, the way they handle it is an indication of how they're going to handle big things when they get that too, you know. I want you, the people of Nevis, to understand they are known by their ways. You understand? And look at the company they're keeping, all them keeping company together, because all of them are accustomed to the same thing. All of them have the same plan. All of them want to go over to St. Kitts to do the same thing, and that is to represent themselves. All of selves, none of thee. They are all of self and none of thee. The CCM, when we go to represent, we go to represent for all of the people in Nevis. So when the previous Minister of Foreign Affairs was there, he didn't hire nobody from Nevis. He go in and whoever in the office, he say, okay, all right, good morning, good afternoon. He not see that there's a vacancy there and say, by somebody in Nevis might could do that. No. But look at the current Minister of Foreign Affairs. When he go over there, he say, this young lady from Beach Road, she fit good there. She could do that job. Or this young lady from Fountain, she could do that job too. Or this young man from Hamilton, he could take that post. And that is the way that he thinks. Because what? He's thinking about Nevis people. When the time comes to fill up a board, look at what board it is. Look at how big the board is or how small the board is. He said, no, got to got some Nevis people on that. Because guess what? It's Nevis people going to St. Kitts to represent. You understand? We've heard people say that the Honorable Mark Brantley has been the best Minister of Foreign Affairs ever. I don't think that is in dispute. I think that is a fact. And he has represented the Federation well. Our passport is now one of the strongest passports in the entire Caribbean. And that is largely because of his representation. So he not only representing us, the people of Nevis, good. He representing the entire Federation good. And whenever he walked to Bastille, people call out to him because what? You know, he carries himself in a certain way and he represents all of us well. People know that. So whether it is Panhill, whether it is Newcastle, whether it is Cotton Ground, whether it is here in town, people can see that. Whether it's over in Bastille, whether it's St. Paul, St. Kitts, whether it is Cairn, St. Kitts or Sandy Point, St. Kitts, people know that. People know that when the members of the CCM party come to represent, they really come in to represent. They're not coming just to think about themselves. So ladies and gentlemen, I am telling you about the choice. And the choice is simple. In 9, it's the Honorable Premier, Mark Brantley. In 10, it's the Honorable Eric Evelyn. And I believe he will be unopposed. I strongly believe so. And in 11, it's the Honorable Alexis Jeffers. Because you know what? He is going to go and represent you. And you know why again too? Because the person who has said that he represented you for the last 20 years, you can't point to anything that he has done to represent you. So send in your person. Ladies and gentlemen, I think I'm having too much of a good time up here. And I was only supposed to be opening the baton. But, you know, we have so many things that we can talk about because this thing is Serious. The choice is simple, but the consequences of the choice could have serious implications. Who you want to go to St. Kitts? You want people who are going to go just to see what they can get? Or you want people who are going to go to see how best they can represent you, the people of Nevis? So everybody watching on the live, you know, I hope you all having a good time. Tonight we're going to have some good entertainment and so on for you. I was just the warm-up. We have the candidates coming up shortly. So I want you all to continue to support the Concerned Citizens Movement. Support our 3 candidates. Give all the support. Tell all of your friends. Come on the live. We are on Facebook at Concerned Citizens Movement. We are on YouTube. Just go on YouTube and search for CCM Nevis. You all have a pleasant evening and continue to support us, continue to support the live, continue to support the Concerned Citizens Movement. Thank you.
Can't ball in a life, man. Go on with it, go on with it. Yeah, is it? Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that was Youthant Troy Liebert. I'm going to say give him a round of applause still, even though we don't have an audience. Those of you who are in your bedroom and those of you who are listening to us via Van Radio, the only powerhouse, you can put your hands together for the Honorable Troy Youthant Liebert presentation. Now, ladies and gentlemen, high technology, eh? We're going to have a lot of fun tonight. Let me hear that again. Let me hear that again. One more time, Mr. DJ. Oh, you said they're going to say we got a big crowd? That's all right. We have a massive crowd because the whole of St. Kitts and Nevis, actually the whole world, is listening to this meeting tonight. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable Troy Liebert spoke about a number of things. And I just want to touch on one area that he spoke about tonight. And that was the representation of the representative in the federal parliament over the last 20 years. And we all agree that he does not have anything to point to that he would have accomplished as the representative. But look at the record of the Honorable Alexis Jeffers. Even though he has not been in the federal parliament, the Newcastle police station, the CCM administration would have said to the Honorable Alexis Jeffers, take care of this project, and he would have delivered that project. I want the people of Newcastle, I want the people of St. James's, I want the people of St. Thomas's to understand and to recognize that the Honorable Alexis Jeffers was the one who oversaw that project. And it was because of the relationship with Unity that we were able to access funding for that. Now look at the difference. The honorable member from the NRP was a part of a coalition. And every morning and afternoon, he passed that same Newcastle police station. And he never thought that he could have said to his coalition partners, well, now you fix the police station, man. Make me look good. Fix the police station, make the policemen in Newcastle, in my constituency, make them feel comfortable. He wasn't able to do that. It took a CCM government, a part of Unity, to deliver that police station in Newcastle and for St. James's and for St. Thomas's. That alone should be enough reason to vote for the Honorable Alexis Jeffers in Nevis number 11. the water taxpayer, Alexis Jeffers, once again, was instrumental in delivering that project. And all the things that was said about that, he stood up and delivered that project. I am saying to the people who are now utilizing that facility, when you walk on it, when you leave it to go to your work over and sink it, when you come home off of the plane from traveling the world and you walk on that water taxi pier, remember unity, remember CCM, remember the Honorable Alexis Jeffers. And I want you, if for nothing else, in Nevis number 11, I want you to reward the Honorable Alexis Jeffers for those 2 projects. Because the other fella for 20 years, doesn't have one thing to point to. Now, if a man is not in the federal government as yet, and have been able to deliver, just imagine what he will do when you send him to represent you in Bastia. The choice is simple. The choice is an easy one when it comes to Alexis Jeffers and the other fellow. You know, somebody tell me today that they take away license. It's true? I don't know. I'm asking a question. I heard somebody say today that they took away the NRP candidate license in that area. I don't know if it's true. Well, that is a matter for him. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to invite to the microphone our next speaker for tonight. The mayor of Hanley's Road. He changed that. He was once the mayor of Hanley's Road. And I'm told that even though he would have been elected as the representative of St. George, Gingerland, the Nevis Island administration, I am told that his club in Gingerland said to him, you will remain president for life. President for life. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the microphone. The dancing minister, the Honorable Eric Rohan Evelyn, to address you.
All right. Good night, everybody. Good night. I feel fired up tonight. I feel fired up. And the Concerned Citizens Movement, the CCM, we are fired up. And you know what? We're pushing forward. No time for backward with the CCM party. The big blue machine is oiled up. And we are certainly pushing forward. We are pushing forward straight up to election day. Right up to the 5th day of June 2020. We're pushing forward up to election day. And after election day, we're pushing forward straight to Church Street in Bastia. Up to the federal parliament. And let anyone doubt that. This big blue machine is rearing and ready to go. We are firing on all cylinders, ladies and gentlemen. I want to say a special good night to all of you who are viewing and all of you who are watching. Because we of the CCM, we've got the energy, we've got the momentum. The momentum is here with us. And we're going to take that momentum straight to election day and straight to Bastia straight to Church Street to represent the good people of Nevis and St. Kitts. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I do not like to respond to garbage. And every day, because some people on Nevis ain't working and they don't want to work, they're just waiting for something to happen in government for them to get some work. Every day, ladies and gentlemen, they either on Facebook, they either on some radio station, they either writing something somewhere, trying to discredit the good people and the good name of Nevis and the good party, the Concerned Citizens Movement. Now, I made a statement last night when we were here. And I'm going to say what I said. I said that there are some people who are not working, and after the general elections, they will remain jobless. And I understand, because I don't have any time with Facebook, eh? We have an election to win. And so we have been working. We have been hitting the pavements, because I can assure you that come the 5th of June, we are marching to Bastille with 9, 10, and 11. As Alexis would say, all three for we in 2020. And that will be our mantra. We have the momentum and we get in all three. But someone showed me something this afternoon and said, Eric, the little thing that you said last night, the strange people of the opposing party are turning it and twisting it and wringing it and doing all kind of things with it to say things to try to discredit you. But I'm going to make it absolutely clear, because I believe they understood me very well last night, but they want something to say. They understood me very well. I said that persons who are not working before the election will remain jobless. And I was speaking about those people around the opposing party who fail to look work and just coop in to see if they're going to be successful in the election to get a job. When we have the local election, when we had the local election in 2017, they were cooping. And they coop, and they coop, and they not get in. They still not get no job. Because the people of Nevis rejected them. And rejected them in a very big way. Well, I want to tell them again that for this federal election, come the 5th of June, you will be rejected again. Listen to me clearly. I'm going to say it clearly. You will be rejected again. So you could coop, and you could coop, and you could coop, because you still ain't going to get no work. Because these people, day in, day out, don't want to look any work, but they're just waiting to see if the government going to change. Well, that ain't going to happen. That will not happen. Team Unity will return to Bastille with the help of 9, 10, and 11 from Nevis. And so let me make it absolutely clear that I wasn't talking about the ordinary man and woman on the street last night. And they fully well knew what I was talking about. So let me make it absolutely clear that I was talking about the hierarchy of the opposing party who like to coop. But I'm going to tell you again, you're going to coop and coop and coop. Come June the 5th, the cooping going done. Because you still will not be in government. The Concerned Citizens Movement will be back in Bastille. And the other thing that bothers me, let me clear up again tonight. Because as I said, I hardly ever respond to garbage. But when people try to mess with my character and my integrity and my credibility, I must react sometimes. And you know, someone came to my office today and said, Eric, they showed me a post and said, this is what somebody had to say about you, that people can't trust you. People can't trust you. Well, I want to tell the people of Nevis tonight, and all who are listening and all who are viewing, this is leadership you can trust in the concerned citizen movement. Leadership you can trust in the Honorable Mark Brantley, in the Honorable Alexis Jeffers, and in myself. So don't talk about trust when it comes to the CCM party. And you know what bothers me the most? The person who's talking about trust is someone who wants to come and run against me in Gingerland. Right? Well, let me talk about trust. Let us talk about trust. You were elected to the executive of the opposing party. And then, guess what? You proclaimed yourself as a candidate for St. George. And guess what? Your own party rejected you. And you know one of the reasons why they said they rejected you? They said they can't trust you. Let's talk about trust. Let's talk about trust tonight. They said they can't trust you. You were elected by your party in the executive. Proclaim yourself as a candidate. Then they sent you packing. Then you say you can't trust them either. Of course, we would recall the many times when you came to the press conference with the premier. You can't trust them. Them can't trust you. But you're going to come and say, people can't trust me. Out of order. Out of order. Well, I want to tell you a few things why people of Nevis 10 and all of Nevis and all of St. Kitts and all who are listening and viewing can trust me. They can trust all of us. They can trust Alexis. They can trust Mark. They can trust me. Because I ain't no fly-by-night, pian politician. I'm only in this thing for a little over 2 years. But I feel seasoned. Because I have the support of the people. And the people have the support of me. The people can trust me. And that is why they sent me to represent them in Nevis 10. And that is why they will send me to Bastia to represent them in Nevis 10 and to represent them on the island of Nevis. Trust. They can trust me. I come to politics when I was here on Saturday night. I spoke about my credibility and integrity that I had in the civil service for 32 long years. 32 long years. And no one could ever question anything that I did in the public service. Not one scandal ever follow me. Not one. Yes. I'll clap. Let the audience clap. Clap for that. Tomorrow they're going to say we had 1,000 people up here. And they like to twist things. Right? No scandal. No scandal follow me. No scandal follow the Honorable Mark Brantley. No scandal follow the Honorable Alexis Jeffers. So they can trust me. And no, don't talk about my work in the community. I bring a wealth of service to humanity in the community service, in community. I am from Hanley's Road, and you just heard the Honorable Spencer Brand spoke about my service in the Empire Sports Club. 20 years at the helm. Talk about trust. Talk about trust. If they couldn't trust me, they wouldn't want me to be their president for life. Come on. And we all know, all of us in Nevis, know of the fantastic work that that club has done under my watch as the president. Talk about trust. We know what we have done. I've worked with the young men in Hanley's Road, the Boys Together for Change program. All of the young men turned out well. All of them. None of them ever got into any trouble with the law. Talk about trust. They trusted me and I trusted them. Talk about my work with the seniors. Not only in Hanley's Road, but the seniors around the island. Talk about trust. Talk to any of the seniors and ask them if they could trust me. And ask them if they could trust you. Or anybody in your party for that matter. So let's talk about trust tonight. Let's talk about trust. Let's talk about the work that I do in Gingerland with the schools, the primary and the secondary school. Go to ball pasture every year for sports. See who you see down there on the mic. See who you see down there on the mic. And the thing that bothers me, these people who are talking, ask them for one thing they have ever done in the community. Just one. Trying to criticize me, ask them for one little thing that they have ever done in their community. Ask them for one thing. And I could go on and on and on. You know, when I became the minister, my sister, who is the principal of the primary school, the Joycelyn Library Primary, she said, Eric, I ain't sending you no letter because you are the minister now, so you can't come announce for sports. You know what I tell her? Well, when I come to announce, stop me. When I come down there and take up the mic, stop me. Right? So irrespective of what I am doing, whenever there's sports at ball pasture, once I'm on the island, I will be there. Support for the schools, always. And listen, I don't want to keep blowing my horn all night. Because if I start to do it, I could go until midnight tonight. But one other little thing I'm going to leave with you. And all of those who are watching and think that I am not trustworthy. I have 52 godchildren. And let me repeat that. I have 52 godchildren. 52. And I know all of them. And they know me well. And no matter how old they are, when they see me, Godfather, good morning, Godfather, good afternoon. Well respected. You think the parents didn't trust me? You think they didn't trust me? If they didn't trust me, they wouldn't ask me. And even though I have 52, I still turn on a couple. So if I didn't turn on a few, I would have probably gone over the 100 mark already. But I just want to underscore these few points to say that myself and the Honorable Mark Brantley and the Honorable Alexis Jeffers, we have credibility and integrity. We are people you can trust, and you should never, ever question that. Never question it. Out of place and out of order. Look within yourself. Look within yourselves out there and see whether or not people can trust you. And if you want to measure up to me, come on the 5th of June. And the people will tell you who they can trust. Come on the 5th of June, and the people will decide who is more trustworthy. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to speak about one little thing tonight, because there's so much we can speak about. And of course, Alexis and Mark are still here to come. But we are going to be here with you for several nights. And we have been highlighting some of our achievements that we have gotten through our relationship with the Team Unity government. And that is why we are making the very strong case, that we need to go back to Bastille. We must continue the work that has been done. We must continue the unprecedented development on the island of Nevis. And one of those things I want to speak about, Troy spoke about it a while ago. I'm going to touch a little bit on sports tonight. That is the only area I'm going to touch tonight. Sports. The Mondo track. Costs millions of dollars. And we can boast, ladies and gentlemen, of a state-of-the-art facility. A state-of-the-art Mondo track that is the best in the Caribbean. Did you hear that? The best in the region. And we got that through our relationship with the federal government. You know how proud our athletes feel when they can go there to run on that facility? You know how proud they are when we had the inter-primary, the mini Olympics being held at the ETW Park. It attracted thousands of persons. And we never thought that the crowd could grow from what we saw at the ETW Park. But it was such a proud moment, ladies and gentlemen. It was such a proud and signature moment when we had our first inter-primary at the Mondo track. The crowd that we saw there, people in Nevis, people came over from St. Kitts, people were proud of the facility, people were proud of their government, people proud of the CCM party, because we brought it. It was brought under us through team unity. That's development. And I can boldly state that I believe, I am fully confident that in the near future, because of that first-class facility, we will have a few more Olympians. I believe, I am confident that that facility at low ground, the Mondo track, will breed some Olympians from right here in Nevis. We've had 2 Olympians from Nevis, and they did not have the Mondo track facility, but they got there. So now that we have the facility, I believe we will get more. Ladies and gentlemen, that Mondo track facility not only hosts athletes from Nevis. Last year, we hosted the National Athletics Championships there at the Mondo track. Athletes came over from St. Kitts. Athletes came from the neighboring islands. Athletes came from Antigua, from the BVI, from St. Martin, from Anguilla. And they were all impressed. We've had athletes here from the US, from Canada. We've had international athletes here. And all who ran on that facility were blown away. Absolutely blown away. And that is something that the Nevis Island administration, your caring CCM NIA, can be very proud of. And I believe, once again, that is a facility that will bear fruit. It is already bearing fruit. Because the crowds that we see there for inter-primary, unbelievable. I think the Premier would have given the numbers sometime back, I can't recall. But unbelievable for a small island like Nevis. And people from the region and people from around the world are looking at our facility. We have big plans for the facility. And that is why we must continue our relationship with Bastyr. We must continue the relationship with Bastyr because we got millions from the SIDF for that project. And we believe once we continue that relationship, we will get millions more because we have to do the stadium as well. The stadium has to be done. And so we want to continue the work. And I pledge as the Minister of Sports in the Nevis Island administration, when I go to Bastyr, it's not a matter of if. When I go to Church Street, I will agitate for more funds for us to continue the good work on the Mondo track facility. I also want to say, because we can talk about the Mondo track for a very long time, but I, as the Minister of Sport, I have ensured that we have done a lot of other enhancements to a lot of our sporting facilities around the island. Just only recently, we would have done some work at the basketball court over in Cotton Ground. And that is one reason why the young people of Cotton Ground need to vote for Alexis Jeffers. Because good things are happening over there as well. Never mind, some of them say that we have neglected St. Thomas's. That is not what this government is about. This is a government that cares for everyone. People matter most. That has been our mantra, and it will always be our mantra. Because we believe that Nevis belongs to all of us. Not some of us, not just those who support the CCM, but all of us. And so, the people of St. Thomas's have never been left out. And you will never be left out. So we want you to come on board this time. Come on board this time and help send Alexis to Bastyr. And so we would have done some work at the hard court over in St. Thomas's. We would have done some work at the hard court up in Gingerland. We would have done some work at the hard court over in St. James. And we have a lot more work to do on the courts around the island, including the netball facility right here in Charlestown. And so I will continue to agitate when I go to Bastille. If we can't have all the funds from the Nevis Island administration, whatever I can get, when we get our fair share, some of it will go into the development of sports. Because we know a lot of our young people are in sports, and we want to keep them in sports, and we want to have them going further and further. I also want to say as well that we have invested in our sporting grounds around the island. If you go up to the St. George's Recreation Grounds, we did some fencing there, and everybody who attended the athletic sports meet this year said this is the best that the St. George's Recreation Grounds has ever looked. We did some work on the pavilion, but there's always work to do, ladies and gentlemen, and I pledge, as your minister in the NIA, and as your federal representative, I will try to ensure that sports is always high on the agenda. And so, we will continue to do the work on the sporting facilities. I know that we have done some work up at Hard Times. And I must commend the guys up at Hard Times for the commitment they have made to the development of that grounds at Hard Times. Wonderful facility. And of course, the Nevis Island administration would have pumped some serious money there as well. And we are seeing the results because it is a widely used facility. I believe the most widely used facility on the island of Nevis. And I have pledged to the people of Gingerland, and in Rollins in particular, they have been agitating to get the field lit. And I will continue to agitate because we need the lights there as well. And of course, once you send me to Bastille, we will ensure that we continue to look after the sporting facilities on the island of Nevis. And not only the sporting ground at Hard Times, but my wish and my vision is for all of the sporting grounds on the island to be lit. Last night at our round table, we spoke about the reduction in crime, and we are very happy for that. And one of the ways, the avenues by which our young people can exert their energy is through sports. And so we have committed, in whatever way possible, to assist our young people in playing sports, and in doing so, they must have good sporting facilities. We have always assisted all of the sporting disciplines. Basketball, football, the Special Olympians, all of the sporting disciplines we have supported. And of course, the support goes more than just the development of the grounds. The support goes towards as well the development of our human capital, our sportsmen and sportswomen. No one can doubt the commitment and support we have for our young sportsmen and women. Last year, ladies and gentlemen, we spent some serious dollars in assisting this young sports talent that we have on Nevis to attend numerous sporting events overseas. Clap for that. Numerous sporting events overseas. We assisted the Special Olympians to go all the way to Dubai. We assisted footballers to travel. We assisted basketballers to travel. We assisted netballers to travel. We assisted cricketers to travel. We assisted the persons who are in archery to travel. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a government you can trust. This is a government that cares for the people. This is a government that says people matter most. And ladies and gentlemen, if you examine the work that we have done in sports, and I must commend as well our sports director, Mr. Jamie Claxton and his team at the Department of Sports for the fabulous work that they do there and the support that they give to me as the Minister of Sport. And as I said, we have done so much with so little. Of course, our financial resources are always limited, but we try our best to stretch to ensure that we support our young sportsmen and sportswomen. And I want to tell all the sportsmen and sportswomen from all the sporting disciplines that we will continue to support you. We will continue to ensure that you go further and further. And when you send me to Bastille, it's going to be even more development for sporting facilities, even more support for you as sportsmen and women on Nevis. And that is why I am making the case tonight for the good people of Nevis 10, St. George Gingerland. This is a representative that you can trust. This is a representative that the whole of Nevis can trust. This is a representative that the whole of St. Kitts can trust. This is a representative that the entire Federation can trust. And I have no doubt, none whatsoever, that come the 5th of June, you will do what you have to do. And of course, every night I come, I will support my colleagues. Because in Nevis 9, we have the Honorable Mark Brantley. And make no doubt about it. I said it last night, and I'm going to say it again. He has represented and represented well in Bastille. He is easily the best, the most outstanding, the most effective Foreign Affairs Minister that this federation has seen since political independence. And he will continue to work for you and with you in Bastille. The Honorable Alexis Zook Jeffers, always on the go. I enjoyed working with him as his permanent secretary in agriculture. I've enjoyed working with him as a colleague in the NIA because he is someone who has the people of St. James and the people of Nevis at heart. And I know when he goes to Bastille with us, with me and Mark, he will get results there as well. You know, this afternoon we were doing some canvassing, some house to house in Bath Village. And I can tell you that I was overwhelmed. I was humbled but overwhelmed with the reception that we got in Bath Village. And I know Mark normally win back Bath big, but I believe this year going to be a blowout. I believe this year it will be a total blowout in Bath Village. And you know what? Once Bath Village speaks, you know, that is normally one of the first box that come in, you know. And once that Bath Village box come in and come in big, the other candidate could say bye-bye. And that, I believe, will be the case again this year. So I want to encourage all of the people in Nevis 9 to rally with Mark, all of the people in 10 to rally with me, and all of the people in Nevis 11 to rally with Alexis. Remember, it's all three for we in 2020. Nevis, St. Kitts, love you, good night, and God bless you.
Don't be afraid to go for what you want. Somebody say MSD, military, black circle. Everybody come. Now on you go mad. We gonna push forward. I want to hear everybody say ready, ready. What? Hey, I have a DP, I have a mission, I have a mission.
Yes, that was the Honorable Eric Evelyn, the next federal representative for Nevis number 9. Now, I just want to point out a few things from the Honorable Eric Evelyn's presentation. How much is it? 52? 52 godchildren. Well, now, on a serious note, right? If the parents in St. Kitts and Nevis, because I'm sure you got godchildren in St. Kitts. And I'm sure you got godchildren in, see what I mean? So he already a part of the federal setup. Right? But ladies and gentlemen, I'm laughing, but it's the point that I want to get to, right, is this. Which parent in St. Kitts and Nevis going to ask somebody who they don't trust to be their godfather of the child? Tell me. If you don't trust somebody enough, why would you ask them to be godfather of your child? And 52. And I know before the year done you might end up to about 55. Right? About 55. 60? You see what I mean? But, ladies and gentlemen, it goes to the fabric of the man. It goes to the trustworthiness of the man. And I'm saying to you, the people of Gingerland, you know him. So when you hear, what you call it, garbage? Garbage? When you hear garbage, you must treat it as garbage. Throw it in the rubbish bin and you move on. And I'm going to move on, ladies and gentlemen, and invite to the microphone the next representative for Nevis number 11, St. Thomas's and St. James's, the Honorable Alexis Zook Jeffers. Welcome him to the microphone.
Thank you very much, DJ. I want to start by saying good night to, I want to say the crowd here, but we don't. Before persons get carried away, let me say good night to everyone who is listening and viewing this virtual meeting tonight of your great CCM party. It's good to be here and it's good to be in your company. I want to start by saying every time we have a CCM meeting, it is one with a difference. One with a difference. As a matter of fact, I want to say to you as well, that when we start, and when we start rolling, you will know that it is a CCM meeting put on by your CCM party, because we always come different. You know, I picked up a watch tonight, had it home, bought it some months ago, because I was waiting for this campaign. I wanted to be decked out in all of the nice goodies that we normally have when we have a CCM campaign. So this evening I picked up this watch. And boy, I couldn't pick it up much sooner than now, because I've picked it up at the right time. And when I turned it on, it's a nice smart watch, a very smart watch as well too. Smart watch. When I turned it on, when the face lit up, you know what it says? Patrice time up. And I said, this is a very smart watch, because it is saying exactly what all of the people of Nevis 11, St. Thomas and St. James are saying. This watch is saying it to us tonight. It is saying it to me, and it's saying it to the entire world. Patrice time is up at 9:30 p.m. Thursday night. Well, that is how I want to start this evening, because this is a campaign for the next representative of Nevis 11. This is a campaign where ideas, issues, and what we have in store and plan to do for the good people of Nevis 11, Nevis 9, Nevis 10, for the entire island of Nevis. But since I'm seeking to be the representative of this great CCM party in the federal parliament, it is important to know what I will be doing when I get there. And you understand my language, I'm saying when I get there, because I am confident that the people of Nevis 11 will elect Alexis Jeffers as their next representative. And I say that confidently because this watch is telling me that Patrick's time is up. But ladies and gentlemen, as I start my presentation tonight, I want to say that we have done some canvassing this afternoon. You heard Eric said that they did some canvassing in St. John's. We are in St. John's tonight, so we are speaking to the people of St. John's, yes, but we are also speaking to all of the whole of Nevis. We did some canvassing in Craddock Road as well this afternoon. And I want to say to all of the people in Craddock Road, that particular area, there's a reason why I'm speaking to you right now as well. There are some Spanish persons who live there, persons from the Dominican Republic. There are persons from Guyana, persons from Nevis, persons from Jamaica, persons from throughout the Caribbean, the Commonwealth, persons from all over the world. It is a melting pot. But let me say to the Spanish-speaking community there, I know some time ago when we were campaigning for the by-election, the Honorable Mark Brantley spoke some Spanish down there and he spoke fluently. He was speaking to the Spanish hermano and hermano. Romano and hermano. He was speaking to the Spanish brothers and sisters there. Because you know the NRP is targeting those persons who live among us from that community. And you know, I want to say to them that one of the parties or the party that has fought against you being here and have tried everything in the past to get you out of this island is the NRP. So I want to say to you tonight, escúchame, escúchame, listen me. Escúchame. No vota NRP. Nunca. Nunca vota NRP. Vota Azul. Your blue party. Vota CCM. No vota Verde. Verde is green, Eric. Azul is blue. The Spanish knows exactly what I'm saying. I want to say to the Spanish community, NRP no bien, no bien, no good. CCM good, CCM bien, sorry. CCM bien, vote CCM, vote Azul, vote for this great party. Because we have transformed the lives of the Spanish. We have transformed the lives of the Guyanese. We have transformed the lives of our Nevisian brothers and sisters. We have transformed the lives of everyone who have made Nevis their home and have come here to contribute to the development of this great island. So I want to say, don't be fooled. No nunca NRP. Vote CCM. And we are coming around and we'll bring our message to you. And I wanted to start that way because you would hear all sorts of things and see all sorts of things up and down social media. Well, I don't get involved, you know, because I have not a Facebook life, but I have a real life here on this island. I don't have a Facebook life. I want to meet my people and speak to them, interact with them, and I don't have time for that. But it's what it is. It is what it is. Some love it, but I also interact sometimes, but I don't want it to consume me because I have work to do. And that is what I continue to do as a member of the Nevis Island Administration. Ladies and gentlemen, you have heard before, you have heard a lot of things that we have accomplished as a government. I want to say to you, in 2015, when Team Unity was elected to government, and let me specify that Team Unity is your great CCM party, the People's Labour Party, and the PAM Party. When we were elected in 2015, we sat at the table as brothers and sisters. We understood then we were going to be working for the next 5 years for and on behalf of the people of Nevis, the people of St. Kitts, the people of this great federation. A golden opportunity was presented to this federation to rid us of what once existed for over 20 years, I must say. And you see that 20 years is significant. The Labour Party was in government for 20 long years. We understood what happened then. I am not going to go into that because I am one who is always looking forward and thinking about the future. But there are times when our history must be looked at. There are times when you have to go back in order to move forward. But I want to say to you tonight, based on what this federation faced up to 2015, we understood that a change would have had to come. And that is why Team Unity was born and was brought about and went about working for the people of the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. Well, ladies and gentlemen, what has happened? You may ask, well, what has this union brought for the people of Nevis? And I will say it has brought plenty. We'll repeat over and over again because I want the people who are listening and viewing. The way to communicate with people is to repeat. You have to repeat, reinforce, and regurgitate, as they say sometimes. My good old teacher used to say that. You have to repeat. And I want to say to you that when we got into government in 2015, the federal government that is, Nevis received in April of 2015 $10 million. $10 million, and the former leader, when that came, the former leader, you know, I don't like to call people names, but everybody know who the former leader was. The maximum leader, he called himself. He was the one who was pulling the puppet string for those who existed before us when we got into government in 2013. The party that was there before, the leader that was there before. I said to you some time ago that they came over here and had some what they call it? Conversation with the people or something like that, where they went to Brown Hill, went to Jessops, went all up and down Nevis. And the former leader was the one in the audience sitting down, not at the head table, in the audience, and he was in the audience putting up his hand when the maximum leader was on the platform, putting up his hand and asking, can I ask a question? Can I ask a question? Imagine that. That is what we had then. That is what we came from, and that is what we have moved on from. So I was saying in 2015, $10 million came. The former leader said that St. Kitts was giving away, they were giving away St. Kitts money to Nevis. I almost said myself, it sounds like if he get back into government, he might come back for it. But we don't spend it. And here is how we spent it. In 2015, when that $10 million came, the first thing we did was to sit down as a cabinet. And we decided and determined then that there's some infrastructural development that we have to do here on the island. One of the things that we went about renovating or reconstructing was that same government house up there at Bath Plain. I want to say to you that when we left government in 2006, that is your CCM party, that project was ongoing. Contractor was on the ground, material was on the ground. All of the materials needed was there on the ground to get the job done. The NRP came in 2006 and abandoned the project. One beautiful building, one beautiful edifice that overlooked the entire Charleston and into Bastia. A historic building that was built somewhere in 1906, I believe. That government house stands tall on that hill. It exemplifies what is good and what is rich about our history here on the island of Nevis. But what they did, no pride, no pride. They abandoned that project. But of course, we're a party that is filled with pride and love for this island. So we decided and determined that that project had to be restarted, So we went about the renovation of that project. That's project number one. And the eventuality of that, or the outcome of that, is a beautiful completed building there. You have gone there from time to time. The whole Nevision public have gone there for various cocktails. And when the tourists come along, the taximen come along as well, and they take beautiful picture. It represents Nevis, or what is Nevision, and that is why we're proud of that. But I want to say this too. In 2006, the gentleman who I'm running against, and I'm slipping this in now because I'll deal with him later, he was also in the local Nevis Island Assembly on the Nevis Island Administration. He was the legal advisor. When they abandoned that project, he was a part of it. I have to say to you tonight, in my humble opinion, that he also made a decision to abandon that project. Everything that is negative, you have to look towards him. So they abandoned the project. We restarted and completed it. Not only that, out of that $10 million, we extended the tender pay down at Charlestown. And I want to put a footnote here and let you know that I was the leader in those particular projects. That are these particular projects that I'm talking about. I spearheaded those projects because I do believe that I possess the leadership quality to take on anything in this island, as a matter of fact. Anything, give me to do and I'll get it done. Give me it to do and I'll get it done, because that is my nature. So we went down there to the tender pier, extended that tender pier. Not only that, we went up to the Joycelyn Libert Primary School and built a kitchen there. The last primary school on the island of Nevis to receive a hot meals kitchen. We built that. And I spearheaded that as well through the Nevis Housing and Land Development Corporation. Not only that, we went down to the veterinary clinic. And all these projects that I'm talking about were done with the first tranche of $10 million. We went down to the veterinary clinic. That building was built somewhere in the 1970s or 60s, thereabout, I'm not certain. But it's an old building. So we went and we expanded that building. Also, we had a plan for the abattoir as well, to increase the processing capacity of that abattoir. So we expanded on that building also, out of the $10 million. All of those projects were under my leadership. And that is why we are saying this evening, and we've been saying from time to time, we are a party of great ideas. We are a party that possesses leadership. We are a party that are putting 3 candidates before you who have possessed or who possess leadership qualities that are needed over in the federal parliament to ensure that the job is done on behalf of the people of Nevis. We didn't stop there as well. We have done roads. We have done other infrastructural development as well, water enhancement as well. So if I can go on further, I will say to you that when we had the opportunity to receive additional funds, I made a commitment to the people of St. James. I made a commitment to the police officers who were housed at the old police station there in Newcastle, that once I become the representative of St. James, it is my firm desire to ensure that they have a brand new station to live in, to work out of, and to ensure that they have a restful night so that they can maintain the safety and security of the people of St. James and by extension the people of Nevis. So I went about putting plans together to construct that particular facility. As a matter of fact, I've had conversation with the Permanent Secretary of National Security prior to us embarking on that project. I had discussions back in 2013 when there were some plans and some approach that was made to the Mexican government to procure an additional 2 police stations for the Federation. There were 2 that were built prior to that. Under the NRP, you know, when the NRP was there, 2 police stations were donated, or funding for 2 police stations were donated to the federal government. The NRP was there in bed with the Labour Party. Patrice Nisbet was there as well. He was a member of cabinet. They eventually got 2 police stations in St. Kitts, one in Tabernacle, one in Date Bay, one in Tabernacle, I believe, and one somewhere else. I believe it's Date Bay, I'm not sure. But 2 were built. And the Mexican government was indicating that they can build another 2 facilities. So when I heard of that, I said, well, we want one over here too. Because if we're a federation, you already got 2. 2 more coming, at least give us 1. So I was in conversation with the Permanent Secretary then. Sent a proposal over to the Permanent Secretary. I believe I gave it to either the Honorable Mark Brantley or the Honorable Van Samry, who was, they were in St. Kitts at that point in time. So I got that proposal put together. Lo and behold, that didn't happen. But that didn't stop me. So I went about the process of getting the architectural work done, and we have now, over at Newcastle, a brand new police station. So you ask yourself the question, When Patrice Nisbet was in the federal parliament, and federal government, as a matter of fact. But what did he say? What did he do? He passed the police station every morning on his way to St. Kitts. Full speed, didn't look left nor right. He didn't even realize the police station existed. Full speed back and forth. Well, I was passing it all the time prior to coming into government. And I didn't know it was an eyesore to me. I know it was unsafe. I know it was not a place where we want our policemen and policewomen to live. So we went about building that police station. We procured all of the necessary fundings. And see what we have now. So when you talk about leadership, when you talk about who has your best interests at heart, when you talk about who is a true worker and a true leader, you have to look in one direction, and here is where he stands, Alexis Jeffers. And I want to say to you, if I have demonstrated even before I walk the streets of Basti up Church Street, and I can get things done, imagine if I am sitting at the table and agitating and working on behalf of the people of Nevis and also the people of Nevis 11. Imagine what can be done. I have demonstrated as well, even during this COVID-19 crisis. Strong leadership in agriculture. In agriculture, we have demonstrated to you that we have been planning and we have been working with an agenda that includes all of our stakeholders here on the island of Nevis who are involved in crop farming, livestock, and also fishing. Our fisher folks have been looked after. Everyone. We have said to you in farming, we are offering seeds and seedlings. We are offering up to 50% off of certain items and equipment that are available here on Nevis through our marketing division. We are saying to you that free water will be given to all of our farmers for the next 6 months. That is forward thinking. We are saying to you as well that our fisher folks, what we have done in the past, we are going to do much better in the future as well. But we have said that you too will benefit, and you have benefited by way of free fish pot wire and half price on the second roll. We have also said to our livestock farmers, we are offering you fencing wire. We are offering you assistance in feed and the likes. We have also said to our crop farmers as well, what we will do for you is to ensure that we provide the necessary human resource so that you can actually produce more over the next 6 months and beyond. Produce more, because we must feed our people. That is strong leadership. That is why I say to you that if I'm given the chance, all of the work that I've done for the last 7 years in government, I can multiply that. I can do much more. And that is why I come with so much energy. I come with so much interest in the people of the constituency that I represent, St. James. I now want to translate that into further work and assistance to the people of Nevis 11, St. Thomas's included. But once I do that for my constituency, it means that Nevis is benefiting. Because anything that is done anywhere on the island of Nevis, it actually enhances that area in Nevis. It translates into Nevis looking better. Nevisians are doing better. Nevisians are feeling better about their government. And Nevisians are feeling proud about who they have as their representative. But I said I was going to touch shortly on the opponent that I have over there in Nevis 11. I want to say first and foremost, even though I'm saying he will be the opponent, I'm not so sure. Because I'm hearing other things. I'm hearing he just might not be. But if he is, the people of Nevis 11 will have to ask yourself, why was I voting for someone for 20 long years? Why was I voting for someone for 240 months? Why was I voting for someone for 7,300 days? Why haven't I gotten any true representation from someone who have been giving my vote for those number of years, those number of months and those numbers of days? And when you ask yourself that question, you have to ask yourself, can I do better? And the answer is yes, you can do better. Because my plan for the people of St. Thomas's and St. James, that constituency called Nevis 11, I will reposition that constituency to ensure that the persons who live in that constituency realize a better life. Your livelihood will be enhanced. I want to say we're turning a new page. You'll have new representation. A new era will dawn in that constituency. And in that new era, I will ensure that the human capital of the constituency is looked after. Meaning, training. Meaning, persons who want or desire to go abroad to study, you will be identified and will provide the necessary scholarships for you to go abroad and study. You have to ask yourself, why was no one in Navy's 11 given a chance to serve as an ambassador? Over in the parish of St. Thomas's and St. James, you have more than capable persons over there who can represent us at any embassy throughout the world. Why was no one identified? Because the good gentleman was never interested. Once he was able to come out of St. James with a licking, he know down in St. Thomas's the cushion was there. The cushion was there, and that is why he never looked over his shoulder, because he know when the time comes for an election, as he normally say, as he normally claim, the people are going to vote for him. This time has to be different, because you have to ask yourself, why was no one in St. Thomas's placed on any board at a federal level to make a contribution to the development of policies and programs that would enhance the life of the people of this island and this nation? Why was no one identified? He never had your interest at heart. Because he is all about himself, then he won't be interested in you. And that is clearly the case. Clearly the case. And that is why you have to ask yourself once again, why was I not looking in a different direction before? Even my watch is telling me something. This very smart watch is telling me that Patrice's time is up. So why are you thinking about even entertaining, I must say, the thought of voting for him again? Because I have articulated that I will go on further than there. And I will say to you that once resources are available, infrastructural development will come to St. Thomas's. We have already started work over there, you know. You see that lovely court up there at Cotton Rumpley Field? We resurfaced that recently. We made that commitment when we went over there for that by-election. We said to the young men of the area that we will resurface that court. We'll also provide proper lighting for that court. The contract has been signed. The work has started, because I went over there just a couple days ago and I see the rope and everything to pull the wires to that conduit has been put in place. So you'll have proper lighting there. We didn't stop there, because one of the major things that I've done for the people of St. Thomas's, and by extension, well, for the people of Cotton Ground, and by extension the people of St. Thomas's, was to ensure that we have a proper and a decent housing project there as Kuhun. Kuhun Manor, I think it is called. Proper roads, proper lighting, proper housing. Listen, when I drive to there, I think I'm driving somewhere in the United States, in Florida somewhere. Beautiful roads, beautiful homes. And I want to say to you that people who live in that development are proud homeowners. You can see it in their actions. You can see it in their faces. They are proud to own their own home in such a lovely development. But I want to go further, you know, and tell you this. Those people, as proud as they are, when we came into government in 2013, they couldn't claim that they own that piece of land that they live on. Why I say that is because those lands were acquired somewhere in 2007. The same Patrice Nisbet was in the NIA. He was the one who was signing all those documents. He was the legal advisor when the transaction was done. He was also the vice chairman of the Navy's Housing and Land Development Corporation that handled that acquisition. But you know, the interesting thing is not a penny was paid for those lands. So people were there from 2007 up until 2013 when we came into government. Those lands were acquired. The owners of those lands were never paid, and the persons who owned a home there could not say that they rightfully owned those lands. Whether they had a title or not, I am telling you, if persons are not paid for land, as far as I'm concerned, the transaction is not complete. It is not complete, and it was not complete. But in Nevis Island administration, headed by the Honorable Van Samry, when I went to cabinet, I took that matter to them. We found the resources and we paid the owners, which they are entitled to be paid. We paid them for their land. Why didn't they think about paying for people's land? They acquired over 14 pieces of land. And the same Patrice Nisbet was there during the acquisitions. And they never paid a penny for any of them. I lay these things out because when it's all said and done, it speaks to the person, it speaks to what they're about, and it speaks to whether they're interested in making sure that you as a people are comfortable, you are compensated, and it speaks to whether he is interested in your best interest. And I am spending some time on it because this is a straight fight between him and myself. And I said before, whether he will be the candidate, I'm not so sure. But if he is the candidate, he has to come and tell us why. You must ask him the question when he comes around to you. If he comes, ask him, why didn't you pay for the people's land? But while they were not paying for those lands, all of them were getting what they want, I'm not going to get into it because that is not my job. But I think a fantastic job was done in outlining and putting out there what they have done over those years when they were in government. And persons must be judged by their record. Your record is what speaks for you. Your record is what you're going to be judged by. Your record is what persons are going to use to make a decision. And that is why I'm saying, judge them on their record. And judge them on their record and judge us on ours. Because when we had an opportunity to get out of the federal arrangement, we would have received and would have done enough to demonstrate to you as a people that we have the best interest of this lovely island at heart. But ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to stop there, I want to go further. Because you hear them talking about this one-to-one laptop issue. I want to say here and now that the NRP was never interested. Patrice Nisbet himself was never interested in providing any laptop to anybody in Nevis, or young men and young women in Nevis. Let me tell you how this thing went. And when they said they brought laptop, listen to what happened. Back in 2014, thereabout, when it happened, the Honorable Vance Amory was the Premier of Nevis. He was also the Minister of Education. He was also a member of the Federal Parliament. So you listen to that. He was the Minister of Education, the Minister or the Premier of Nevis, and also a member of the Federal Parliament. So if it is, the federal government had some laptops to donate or bring over to the island of Nevis to give to our young men and young women who are in our schools here. Don't you think it would have been wise of them to call the Premier and say, Mr. Premier and Minister of Education, we have X amount of laptops to bring to Nevis. We want you to be available to receive these laptops and to thereafter hand them out to the students. That was not the case. They came over on the sea bridge. Patrice Nisbet and this fellow named Ghost. He was a minister then. They came over on the sea bridge in a school bus. Went up to Charlestown Secondary School. Unannounced. Nothing was said to the Premier. Nothing was said to the Minister of Education. Nothing was said to the minister or the member of the Federal Parliament. All one person who is the Honorable Vance Amory. Nothing was said. So they went up there. And rightfully the Honorable Vance Amory said, no, you cannot come over here and present computers without the government knowing, the Premier knowing, the Minister of Education. I would think out of sheer respect, you'll pick up the phone and make a call and say, we're coming. We have the best interests of our students at heart. We're coming over with a quantity of computers to donate to those, to the Nevis Island administration, so that they can be used by our students. That was never done. And I agree with the Honorable Vance Amory. He said, no, you cannot trample on a respectable government, I must say. A government that was elected by the people of Nevis. You cannot trample on a government by doing that. There are various protocols that you have to follow. But they packed up their computers that same day, went back to St. Kitts, came off the next day, and they went down to the federal office with the Prime Minister then, the former Prime Minister that is. They went down there to hand out computers, never said nothing to the Premier again, nothing said anything, they didn't say anything to the same Premier who was the Minister of Education. They never said anything to the same Premier, Minister of Education, and also a member of the Federal Parliament. They didn't say anything to him. So when you look at a scenario like that, you ask yourself the question, did they come in good faith or they came to embarrass the government of Nevis? I would say the latter. They came to embarrass the Nevis Island administration. No good intent. And the same thing they would have done, you know, and Patrice Nisbet was a part of it. The same thing in terms of embarrassing the Nevis Island administration. They would have gone ahead and bounced that check on that fateful April morning in 2014. They did everything. And you know why they were doing it? Because the government was in Nevis, voted into government, that is, by the good people of Nevis who saw something in the CCM and wanted the CCM to run the affairs of this country. And they didn't like it. Patrice didn't like it. The former Prime Minister, didn't like it. But that didn't stop us from doing what we have to do. Take a quick, sorry. That's what you should have been doing a long time. The former Prime Minister didn't like the government that was in Charlestown. So they tried everything. And all of this was facilitated by one Patrice Nisbet. Because he was the one who was holding a minority government together. A minority government, imagine a minority government trying to embarrass a majority government in Nevis. So those are the types of things we had to deal with. And those are the kinds of things the people of Nevis 11 would have to recall when you go out to vote. Those are the kinds of things that we don't want to ever happen in this island again. Those are the kind of things you don't want to happen in this federation again. But that incident of those computers, if there was any good intent, that program would have been rolled out properly. It would have had good intent behind it, and the children of Nevis would have been the beneficiaries of that. But we have a program that we have rolled out in recent times, but we are only hearing about these computers that they would have brought since COVID-19, you know. The conversation had ended because it was not a program that they had any good intent or good intentions. But ladies and gentlemen, I want to say to you that, as I said before, we are turning over a new leaf. We are saying that the Honorable Mark Brantley, as the leader of the island of Nevis, the leader of this great CCM party, the person who will be returned in Nevis 9, where we are tonight. I am proud to be a candidate in these elections alongside the Honorable Mark Brantley. I have said to you before, and I'll keep repeating it, the Honorable Mark Brantley is not myself. He's not Alexis Jeffers. He's none of us inside here. He is himself, and his style of leadership will be all about Mark Brantley in terms of his execution. Because that's the man. But I will say to you that when he leads on any matter, he has shown us that he has what it takes to lead this island. He has demonstrated to us that he has what it takes to even be one of the greatest or one of the best foreign affairs ministers this country has ever seen. He has demonstrated to us that he will do what is necessary to ensure that every man, woman, and child in this island receive the best that we can offer, whether it is in education, whether it is in agriculture, whether it's in human resource development, whether it's in training, whether it is identifying our best to put throughout the world in our embassies. And for that, I want to be the one to march side to side, shoulder to shoulder, to go to Bastia to represent the people of Nevis. Because I understand that with the leadership that Premier Brantley has provided us, it has been one that we can certainly rely on. That steady hand that he has shown us, that steady hand of leadership that he has shown us over the last 3 months at least, since we have been experiencing COVID-19, this crisis that we have been experiencing, suggests to me that he has been preparing himself for any eventuality. And the eventuality has come. No one expected COVID to visit us at this time. But I'll say to you, in January, when we started the year, when we rolled out our budget, for example, back in December of 2019, budget for 2020, we knew that we would have had an exciting year.
A year when tourism would have prospered. A year when agriculture would have flourished. A year when our young men and young women would have experienced a wonderful year, because at least we would have seen a reduction in crime in this island and this country. So all that we have seen have demonstrated to us that the Honorable Mark Brantley was ready. Well, I want to say further, and I'm going to wrap up shortly, because I realize that, Eric, you took a lot of time, you know. Took too much. You took some of my time, so I'm going to yield to the Premier now. But I want to say in closing, that we are voting for 3 representatives to go to Bastia. We are saying to you, let us keep the momentum going. We have started a momentum that is resonating throughout the island of Nevis. So in keeping this momentum, we are saying vote for the 3 candidates in Nevis 9, Nevis 10, Nevis 11. All 3 for we, for election 2020. Eric, I don't want you to feel anyway. That was just one of those, light moments. But I'm saying that we're excited here on this platform. We are presenting a platform that will translate into a transformation of this island moving forward. So vote for all 3 candidates. Send us to Bastia. Send us back to government in Bastia so that we can bring about further development for the island of Nevis. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm told that is my quota for tonight, because we have more nights to come and more nights when we'll dialogue with you and put our agenda to you so that we can ensure that you vote for all of us to ensure CCM remains strong here on the island of Nevis. That is my quota for tonight. I'll leave it there for now. But in parting, let me hear my song. Thank you very much, Honorable Alexis Jeffers. And that's why we call him the Energizer Bunny. Because you know, he would have talked until tomorrow morning. He is ready to go. He is raring to go. And ladies and gentlemen, on a serious note, the reality is we have a lot to say. We have a lot to say. And I look at the Honorable Alexis Jeffers tonight, and he's just getting warm up, you know. He's just getting warm up. So I am saying to you, expect that he will say a lot more throughout this very brief campaign. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to say to the people of St. Thomas's, my simple message to you is to come home. Come home. Come home to CCM. Come home to CCM. Come home and ensure that you send Honorable Alexis Jeffers to Bastia. Give him a chance. Give him an opportunity to represent you. And if you are not satisfied, then you have the right to recall him. You have consistently sent a man to Bastia 20 years. And what have he brought back home to you, the people of St. Thomas? I've asked you to point to one thing that he have brought. I am saying to you, if you give Alexis that chance, he will deliver. St. James's, you know what to do. St. Thomas's, I am saying to you to come home. Ladies and gentlemen, our final speaker for tonight is our party leader. And for some reason, they seem as though that they have an obsession with this gentleman. But I want to say to the people of Nevis that this man, this leader of this party, was groomed for this position. He was groomed for this position. He He sat at the feet of our national hero for many years. He followed the great leader of our party for many years. He was schooled and he prepared himself for this position, ladies and gentlemen. And it seems as though that they are upset with him for preparing himself. I want to say to the people of Nevis number 9, stick with our premier. St. John's and St. Paul's, stick with our premier. Every single day he go to work for you and to make things better for you. And all that the opposition tried to do is to put obstacles in his way. But they continue to fail. They continue to fail. And on the 5th of June, they will fail again. I want to say one final thing before I call our premier to the microphone. We have this federal election on the 5th of June. And on the 6th of June, he will still be the premier of Nevis. I want you to be mindful of that. Because they seem to be going around and telling people, oh, you know, all kind of foolishness. Do not allow them to fool you. The Honorable Mark Brantley and the Concerned Citizens Movement Party will still be the government of the island of Nevis. What we are saying to you is to strengthen the hand of your CCM government in Bastia. Strengthen the hand of Team Unity. And you will see greater benefits for the island of Nevis. Plain and simple. All that the NRP would do in St. Kitts is to create an obstruction for the development of Nevis. We cannot do that at this time. We want you to keep the momentum. And you must keep the momentum by sending to Bastia the Honorable Mark A.G. Brantley as the next representative of the constituency of Nevis number 9. The present representative of the constituency of Nevis number 9. Welcome him to the microphone, ladies and gentlemen.
They can't keep a good man down. Always keep a smile when they want me to frown. Keep the vibes and I stood my ground. They will never ever take my crown.
Good evening. Good evening, good evening, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is a strange phenomenon to be having a public rally without a crowd. But I know that we have a good following on social media and that we are going virtually throughout the world. And so I say good evening to all of you who are viewing, who are listening on Von Radio, who are on our Facebook page, and I ask you to share and share because we have a message. We have a story that we want the people to hear. And that message and that story is a message of successful, committed leadership for the people of Nevis. I would want to thank the Honorable Spencer Brand for the excellent job he's done tonight. The Honorable Troy Youth and Liberd for the excellent job that he did in speaking to the issues. To my colleague, the Honorable Minister Eric Evelyn, and our candidate for Nevis 10 for his usual erudite expression of the issues. And of course, to the action man, the hardest working minister, they say, in all of St. Kitts and Nevis, the Deputy Premier and our candidate for Nevis 11, the Honorable Alexis Jeffers. I took the time, you see, to name all that you have seen on the campaign trail tonight here on our platform, because I want to tell you that CCM is full of leaders. It is full of leaders, full of those with the necessary potential and capacity to move the island of Nevis and the wider Federation forward. Now, I have been privileged to sit in the federal parliament since 2007. I have been privileged to sit in the cabinet at the federal level since 2015. And I challenge anyone to examine that record. It is not the first time that the Nivision has sat in the federal cabinet. Indeed, we are aware that the NRP has first been with PAM and then they have been with Labour. Someone said if they were to form another 2 or 3 parties, the NRP would be with them too. Because they are with whoever can give them a little something, something. They are always available to the highest bidder. The CCM, throughout its lifetime, took a principled position that it would be focused primarily on the development of the island of Nevis. And it was only in 2013 when a government in Bastia decided to be hostile to the people of Nevis because the then Prime Minister, Denzil Llewellyn-Douglas, decided that he didn't like the party that the people of Nevis had elected. And so he set about in a diabolical way to seek to embarrass the people of Nevis. We of the CCM said, if you decide to declare war on us, then we shall declare war on you. And we now know who the winner of that war was. The CCM is not to be trifled with. We are a big blue machine, a serious party. And when they pick fight with us, we tell them to leave us alone. And then they come back and they pick further fight with us, tell them to leave us alone. But when the time comes and we punch back, they get knocked out. And that is what has happened, ladies and gentlemen. We knocked out NRP in 2013, and we knocked out Labour in 2015. Having knocked them out, we're going to keep them out. They're down for the count, and we're going to keep them down. I am here to tell you that I am privileged to be in this position as leader of this great party at this time. 2020 will go down, no doubt, as one of the most challenging years that we have experienced. And yet, I stand here before you tonight proud that despite the challenge presented by COVID-19, there have been no deaths in Nevis and in our federation. There have been no hospitalizations in Nevis or in our federation as a result of COVID-19. And through the grace of God and the prayers of the multitude, all who were tested positive have recovered. And as I stand here today, we have no tests outstanding. On the island of Nevis, we have no one in quarantine. And what was a dark, dark tunnel of COVID-19 now has a bright light, which says to us that we are winning the battle. And ladies and gentlemen, if you want a testimony of the quality of leadership that we have in Nevis and in the Federation, the manner in which we dealt with COVID-19 should give you that testimony. We kept our people safe. Now some have asked, why are you having elections? But the country is still in recovery mode from COVID-19. The answer to that is simple. We're having the election now because the Constitution mandates that we must have it. And you recall that there were some who every day they took to the airwaves demanding an election. They said that since February we had gone over time. And yet now the Honorable Prime Minister has rang the bell to see what is happening. They're not ready. They're bawling out. Why you ring the bell? Why you ring it now? I see them sending messages all across the globe telling people come home to vote. You know what I find is most interesting? CCM stood as a matter of principle, and CCM said that the rights of all of our people to vote must be respected. the pundits, and the usual nattering neighbors of negativity. Their response to that was to say that CCM could not win an election without the overseas vote. Well, I'm here to tell you that the NRP usually brings home far more people than the CCM. The NRP normally brings them home by charter jet. I recall one time I dared to call American Airlines and ask how much the charter jet from New York. Before the girl could say 375,000 US properly, I done hung up the phone. I said, where we gonna find that money? But yet I have a video that I see floating around of the NRP in a long jet bringing in their people. But yet they go around and say that the CCM is dependent on the overseas vote. Well, I am saying to our voters and our people overseas, yes, we are depending on you, but we are depending on you to talk to your families right here in Nevis, right in St. Kitts, and tell them when they go out on June 5th, vote for the hammer, vote for the Concerned Citizens Movement, vote for Team Unity, and ensure that the progress that we have made, the momentum that we have gained, that we keep that momentum. This is not a time, ladies and gentlemen, to look back. You all ever see Usain Bolt in the 100 meters? One direction, straight forward to victory and to the finish line. He don't have no time to look sideways. He has no time to look back. I hear them clamoring, say they want a debate with me. I said, debate with who? If I am ahead and I have the baton, why am I looking back? I am like Hussein. I'm leading to the finish line. I am way ahead. The CCM is way ahead. There's no time to look back because the people of the country recognize that they have in us the kind of leadership that they need. And COVID-19 has demonstrated beyond a shadow of a doubt that the level of leadership that you require resides right here in St. Kitts and Nevis. And you have it. Let us not look backwards now. We're moving ever forward. Now many say the work is not yet done. And I agree that the work is not yet done. Work is never done. Because you must always continue to work. And when you have achieved one thing, you build and achieve more. That is why we're here. Our parents and their parents before them built a Nevis that we could inherit. It is now for us to build a Nevis for our children and our grandchildren, for the generations that are yet to come. And that is what we're seeking to do. Today we are on this very blue stage, and we are coming to you virtually in this important rally. But we understand that we are on the stage, but only for a time. What we must do is, whilst we are on the stage, we do our very best for our island and our people. And then leave the stage so that others could come and continue that momentum. So our message is a simple one. To our voters, to our people who are going out to vote on June 5th, the message is simple. That there's work to be done, but we as a team, a CCM team, with Team Unity, are best equipped to do that work. We're best equipped. You look at us, you listen to us. We had a session last evening, a session which was a sort of cozy living room, town hall style. And you know, I like that we are being so innovative, that others are now trying to copy. You know, even the stage that we built here, even the backdrop that we have created, I hear NRP calling all over Nevis, Lord, who build the stage? Who will do the backdrop? They're cooping, just how Eric said, they're cooping to get into government. They're cooping even who build the stage for CCM. They're cooping who do the backdrop because we are leading and they are trying to follow. To look at them, an election was announced by the Honorable Prime Minister since Monday. We have had a short
season announced. He got to the polls on June 5th. Today is already Thursday of the first week of the campaign. And the people of Nevis still don't know who the NRP candidates are. They have still not launched their candidates. Tonight, I got a call. And they say that they have a big debate going on inside the NRP. You know what the debate is? A young man in Gingerland announced himself what they call a unilateral declaration of candidacy. Announced himself in a unilateral declaration of candidacy that he was the candidate in Gingerland. And whilst he was basking in the glory, walking at morning, speaking to goats and sheep, and taking photos with the donkeys that he passed. Whilst he was engaged in that, the NRP said we could not trust his character. And so the NRP, in their wisdom, took to the airwaves of this country and they condemned him, excoriated him, embarrassed him, and cast him out. Just like we heard in the Bible about them casting the demons out of those. Cast them out, publicly embarrassed and humiliated. And I made bold to say that the same man that they cast out, they will have to go back to. In fact, I believe I bet a hard $100 bill that that's who they will have to go back to. Well, hear the joke. Big debate in the NRP. Some saying we cannot go back to him because Mark will win the bet. We can't go back to him because Mark will win the bet. And I already have the clips, you know, lined up. The clips. When the blabbermouth from town who say running against me say he will not be a candidate for the NRP. He will not be a candidate for the NRP. I have the clips primed up because I say I'm going to win this $100. Or they say they can't let Mark win. So somebody else in the meeting say, well, let Eric run unopposed. They say they can't do that, they're going to look bad. So I hear now they have a sacrificial lamb. And I am shaking my head because as the message came to me tonight, that a man whom I defeated in 2007, whom I bang again in 2010, who was declared null and void in 2011, whom I bang again in 2013, and who I humiliated, I thought, for the last time in 2017. I said, no, they're going to put on going to Gingerland. I said to the NRP, it is better you let me win my bet. It is better you let me win my bet because at least the fella who unilaterally declared his candidacy knows that he's popular among the sheep and goats. He knows the donkeys favor him. And I believe that he would do better than the man that you're considering who has been defeated time and time and time again. But I want to say something more because they're criticizing the Honorable Eric Evelyn for calling them out who are cooping. And I say Eric Evelyn is 100% correct. You know why? There are many of them who are some Facebook bullies. They are on social media. They have the answer to every problem in this country. They know how to create jobs, but mark you, they're not working. They know how to solve health care. They know how to solve crime. They have investors ready. They're going to build Nevis. And all the chat and the mouth that they have, not one of them is prepared to put his name on a ballot paper. You see, ladies and gentlemen, when you are watching cricket from the pavilion, you always know that the batsman played a poor shot. You always know that the batsman played a poor shot You say, what a foolish shot, but you know what? The batsman is facing the bowling while you are in the pavilion. But when you hear them on their chat groups, and they say all kinds of things, they say one of them I call Buster. I have named him to the point where he himself now calls himself Buster. That I had a brown dog when I was a boy in Brownhill. And that brown dog was the most ferocious animal. Bark hard when it's tied. But the minute you let him go, and you say, hoots, he run under the table. Run under the house to hide. That is Buster. And I believe that the NRP and those persons should understand now that they're not a serious party. You see where I started, ladies and gentlemen? I spoke about the quality that Spencer Brand brought. The quality that Troy Liebert has brought. The quality that resides in the CCM movement. The concerned citizens movement. The quality of leadership and candidates galore. The NRP, on the other hand, has a bunch of people who like to talk. Busters, bark hard when they're tied. But when you ask them, well, put on your boots and come onto the field of play. Since you have all the answers, then appeal to the people of Nevis. They're nowhere to be found. That is why I agree with Eric that they're cooping. And after June 5th, I'm telling you, they're going to still be cooping. Still be cooping. No courage. No character. Imagine there are some who will seek to suggest that the character of these three Hebrew boys, these three who are here on this backdrop, I will seek to question our character. I feel proud to say tonight that before God and man, I can vouch that Alexis Jeffers' hands are clean. Before God and man, I could vouch that Eric Evelyn hands are clean. You hear what he said? 32 years in the public service, not a blemish. Alexis Jeffers has one of the most difficult tasks as Minister of Lands and Minister responsible for Nevis Housing and Land Development Corporation. An entity that whenever you mention it in the past, somebody had a story. And I always say to people that since he has taken over that corporation in 2013, you have never heard a whiff of scandal in relation to the NHLDC. It speaks to the character of the man. And then where I'm concerned, they say all kinds of things about me. But I can stand proudly here today to say that before God and man, my hands are clean. So we bring before you, oh my goodness, I hope the crowd could hear that. One of the fellow from Gingerland supporters is interrupting the meeting. What he say? What he say? Interrupting our meeting. Ladies and gentlemen, I am saying to you that this CCM team is the best team to take us upwards and onwards. We have maintained a momentum. We have achieved the momentum. We want to maintain that momentum. You know, as I listen to the commentary, I hear that the other side is criticizing. You know what they're criticizing us for? They say we got $200 million from stinking. Oh, my view is if you are Nevisian, if you are interested in the island of Nevis, I would hope that you would be delighted to know that the people of Nevis are getting some of what they ought to get. You ought to be delighted to know that. But instead of that, this has been a matter for them to criticize the CCM. Criticize us, because as far as they're concerned, Nevis must not get anything from the Citizenship by Investment program. And that, ladies and gentlemen, would explain why when they were there, they got nothing. I have heard a lot of talk here on the platform this evening about the good gentleman called Patrice Nisbet from number 11. The NRP candidate, we are told, who has been in the federal parliament for 20 years, 240 months, 7,300 days. And when you ask him, what have you brought back to number 11? The answer is nothing. Nothing. He has not brought a single thing to number 11. There is nothing you can point to in number 11 that you can say after 20 years, 240 months, 7,300 days that the NRP has brought to Nevis. And so you ask the question, number 11, why are you sending him back when he has demonstrated time and time again that he lacks the competence to bring anything to? Ladies and gentlemen, I have only been there for 5 years. 5, by my rudimentary mathematics, is a lot less than 20. Van Samry was only there for 5 years. He and I went together. But whilst we have been there in 5 years, look around Nevis, Mondo Track. Look around Nevis, the Piat Wally. Look around Nevis, the tower at Van Samry, the runway at Van Samry. Look around Nevis, the Treasury building in Charlestown. Look around Nevis, brand new engines at Nevlik. And incidentally, that investment that was asked for and agitated for by the Honorable Alexis Jeffers. And we went and we secured the funding from the SIDF. That investment has now paid dividends to the point where divisions are no longer complaining about losing electricity. They're no longer complaining about outages because Nevlik has been restored to the investment that we have made there in new generator. When we look at the geothermal project, which has had its difficulties in terms of financing, but yet we're able to secure funding from the SIDF to advance the process of renewable energy on the island. When we look at the fact that for 4 straight years, the public servants in Nevis were able to receive a double salary. We look at the investment in culture. We look at all that has come and all that the Honorable Van Samry and I, as the members and representatives of CCM, have agitated. And I say to you, compare that record of 5 years to the NRP record in the federal government. Compare that record of 5 years and ask yourself and be honest with yourself, who has been able to better represent the people of Nevis at the table in Bastia? Which team has gone to Bastia and negotiated better on behalf of the people of Nevis? And there's only one answer. And that answer is the concerned citizens. So when we say keep the momentum, it's because we understand what it is to sit at the table. We understand when you sit there, those who are from St. Kitts sitting at the table, Sean Richards going to say, SP is where the best be. Sandy Point, and he comes to argue for Sandy Point. Timothy Harris is going to argue for the people of Tabernacle, the people of Molyneux. Lindsey Grant is going to argue for the people of Old Road. Number 4, we have Patches. He's going to come and make noise for Newtown and Frigate Bay. Eugene Hamilton, plenty noise he make for Keon. And I ask you, if we were not there to make noise for Nevis, who would? Think about these things. Because when we talk about representation, they're saying that you need the best possible team. to go to St. Christopher and sit, so when them make noise, but they share. Nevis has representatives that will stand up and also make noise for the people of Nevis. We must be sure that when policy is being set, that Nevis is at the table, that the people of Nevis are represented and represented properly at the table. And we must ensure, ladies and gentlemen, that never again in the history of this country, never again in the history of this country will the people of Nevis checks be bounced while a Nevisian is sitting in the cabinet. I have reflected in my own quiet moments at what Patrice Nisbet must have said when the matter would have come to the cabinet in St. Kitts that the National Bank intended to bounce the checks of civil servants in Nevis. What did he say? Because if that were me, I would have said, no, it cannot happen. And if they insisted that it would happen, I would have walked out and they would have had my resignation. Because the people of Nevis must never be disrespected in this country. And those that you entrust to represent you must represent you. And the thing that bothered me most is they thought, NRP, that they were hurting the CCM administration. This whole plot to bounce the checks of our people was designed to embarrass the Vance Amri-led government in Nevis. But of course, who got hurt? People of Nevis. Many public servants were supporters of the NRP. But that treasonous act by a member of the NRP sitting in cabinet to agree that the people of Nevis will be so badly prejudiced and harmed that has caused irreparable damage to that party. And I say to you, ladies and gentlemen, that throughout it all, one party has stood up. One party has demonstrated that our motto and our creed and what we live by is that people matter most. And that is the party that now asks you to keep the momentum, to continue to stay with us, because we have an enviable record of achievement. We are not some fly-by-night party. Alexis Jeffers has a track record of achievements. And I sat with him tonight and I tell him, you must talk about the things you have done, because you have led so many successful projects. You can demonstrate that when we need something done, we put it into the hands of Alexis. He has a record. We look at Eric Evelyn, 32 years in the public service, service in the community. They say that he's at every sports meet in Gingerland. They also say that he's at every funeral reading the eulogy. A man of the community, a man embedded in the community, a man who has always served people. He's not like some who, when they announce themselves as a politician, start to carry food in the square taking pictures with people. Never in 60 years did they know that they could benefit someone. But all of a sudden they jump up, they say, I'm a politician now, and they carry food in the square and take pictures with people giving them the food. Eric Evelyn has had a life of service, so that when he was called upon to enter politics, it was a natural progression for him. He has a record, examine it. And when you look at me, I have done all that I can. They have thrown everything that they have at me. Indeed, even when Vance Amri was leading this party, I believe I get more cost than Vance. For some reason, the name Mark Brantley creates such anxiety in the Nevis Reformation Party. But I believe part of why they vex with me, part of why they vex with me, because they asked me to join them and to run for them. And I said, no, Joe, not you. No, Joe, not you. I prefer to join the Honorable Van Samre. And where he goes, I will follow because I thought that he was a better leader. And so, like the fox that couldn't get the grapes and then cussed the grapes and said a sour. NRP couldn't get me. So now they cuss me, say bad. But if I'm bad, I will tell you, I'm bad at beating them. Because since I entered politics, I have ensured that election after election they have lost. 2007 they lost, 2010 they lost, 2011 they thief, 2013 they lost, 2015 they lost, 2017 they lost, and by the grace of God on the 5th of June 2020 they will lose again. Ensure that they have lost because their hearts are not in it for the people of Nevis. All of self and none of thee. And their record shows it. You know, last night, spent some time talking about the pay and the salaries and the perks. I'm not even going to bother with that because as far as I'm concerned, those are red herrings. But one thing that jumped out at me is that when the people of Nevis rejected the NRP in 2013 at the local level, Roberto Hector had his sidekick, the same Patrice Nisbet, who was in the federal cabinet. And he called up Patrice, he said, boy, he wants something to do to get a little money in my pocket. And Patrice said, no problem. Come on board as an advisor to labor. What kind of labor? Roberto know about. What kind of labor? It can't be the kind of labor when you're having a baby. He doesn't know anything about that. He has not studied anything to do with labor. Not a trade unionist. He says he's a lawyer. What did he have to offer as an advisor to the Minister of Labor? The only reason he was given that position was to get some money. And that is why when Eric says they're cooping, the people of Nevis must understand that for them, government is exclusively about getting money. Fattening themselves, enriching themselves, and no care for the people of Nevis. No effort to help even one person in Nevis. To lift up the young people. To advance them, and that is why after years and years in government with PAM, in government with Labour, years and years, they have nothing to show. Nothing. Because their hearts are not in the right place. And I notice that they have a tendency, when they refuse to go out and find work, not even a little freco, they will go and sell. You know the freco? Maybe you all young people don't know freco. When I was young, they used to got a lady come around with some ice, and she scrape the ice, and she scrape it, and she asks you want strawberry or banana? And she poured this syrup over it. Oh my goodness, it was great. Not even that some of them in NRP willing to do. All they're willing to do is go up and down, make the most noise, and coop. 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 Tell lies. Fake news. And coop some more. And hope that somehow the people of Nevis put them back so they could put their whole snout again into the trough. That is what they are about. Where are the ideas? Where is the plan for development? Where's the record of achievement? Where? And examine them. I have said, and I'm getting my files ready now, because I have an audit that was done at the Clarence Fitzroy Bryant College. Some of them are going around declaring themselves to be all manner of things. But I say to the people, examine the horn. All of us have a record. Examine that record. And one thing about me, I think the people know that when I come to speak, I speak with the facts in hand. I never come and speak loosely. And I speak these things because it is important that the people understand the character of those that they're dealing with. Now I ask a simple question rhetorically tonight. If I, Mark Brantley, am the Premier of Nevis, and something goes wrong in Nevis, who you think is going to get the blame? I believe that I will get the blame, and I will go further and say I believe I should get the blame. You know why? When you're in a leadership position, you take the good and you take the bad. And the buck must stop with you. That is how it works. If you are a principal at the Charlestown Secondary School, you don't teach in any of the classes, you know. You are just the administrator. You're in charge of the school. But there's 100% pass rate. You know what they say? He's a great principal. Equally, if there's 100% failure, they will say he's a bad principal. I say that to say that when people have been put in leadership positions and whilst on their watch, things go wrong, you must ask a question of them. What did they know? When did they know it? Were they in any way involved? Did they facilitate? Did they benefit? What happened? All of these are important questions. So when the CFBC report comes, and it will come, and you start to see the amount of money that disappeared from CFBC. Somebody said the other day the money went poof. Disappeared, poof. Somebody else said, I was in Sink, a taxi man said to me, it had to be that they put the money on the back of a truck. And between CFBC and National Bank, the money dropped off the back of the truck. Hundreds of thousands of dollars, public funds, went missing at CFBC. Money went missing daily. Every day, money went missing. And so you ask yourself the question that when people come to talk to you, people come to seek to suggest that other people have baggage. And you say, where were you when money went missing daily? Where were you when every day at CFBC money went missing? Were you perhaps hiding in the bushes when the bag dropped off the truck? Where were you? He was cooping the truck? Oh my goodness. Imagine you are cooping the CFBC money truck daily. Every day you coop the CFBC money truck. And now you come back to coop the treasury now of Nevis daily. Every day you're cooping the treasury of Nevis. I say to the people of this island and this country, reject those who have demonstrated that they do not have the capacity or the integrity or the character to lead. Somebody said to me that some who found themselves in that unfortunate position, their monies went missing daily. They said they're not to blame. I thought that is interesting, and I go back to where we started. The Premier is in charge of Nevis, and things go wrong. I believe it is right that the Premier is held to account. That is leadership. Because when things go right, I like to put on my best blue tie and go and still look a marvelous achievement. So you must take the good with the bad. That is what leadership requires. So if money goes missing from an institution daily, you must ask some questions of those who are in charge there daily. How come every day money go missing at this institution on a daily basis? That is important. And so we will get to the audit report, you know. And I will document how that money disappeared daily. Every day, money disappeared from CFBC. Every day. And we will look at that as the election unfolds and as the campaign continues. Because I want the people of Nevis to ask the hard questions, to examine the horn, examine the record. And I am saying that I am prepared to match my record against anybody, because I came to politics not for myself, but to serve others. That is what I came to politics, to serve others. That is what you can do. You're not in treasure, as some of them are doing. Ladies and gentlemen, you have heard of our achievement. As the campaign unfolds, you will hear of the plans that we have for the further development of the island. Minister Evelyn has laid out some plans already for sports. I'm on the facility to develop that. We also have a very bold plan to develop a sporting facility for swimming. We have been working with others, experts in this area, and we feel that the same area where the Mondo track is can be developed for sporting options on the island, to create a zone, if you will, where people will come from far and near to be here in what is referred to as sports tourism, but more importantly, for our own people. For the little boy and girl in Cherry Gardens to have it right there, in Brownhill, right there, in Prospect, at their disposal, and from all over Nevis. And I said to people, because I heard one of these criticizers come the other day and say that the Mondo track is a waste of time. And I thought to myself, why don't you say that to the youngster who before used to run on dirt up at ETW Park, that he's now running on a professional IAAF certified surface, and tell him it's a waste of time. Sometimes when you have vision and others do not, they can't see what you see. We have that vision. We have that understanding of what, and we will continue. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to say that this Concerned Citizens Movement has presented a team to you. It is the best team on offer. It is the best team on offer. It is the dream team. I saw somebody put up something calling us the Avengers. An excellent team. And that team is the team, a team of gentlemen who are old enough and wise enough to know and still have the usefulness, the vim, vigor, and vitality to do. You know, old, you know, cold. And yes, I can't dance. And yes, people laugh at me the other night. But Eric could dance for me and he. And Alexis said that he didn't want to show up Eric. And I will tell you, as bad as I say I am at the dancing, the dance that we did up here went viral. And happy and all, make video and send it out. I said, look at those foolish people. Helping to promote your opponent by making video. And somebody did call me and say my waist needs some WD-40. But I said to me it wasn't a song for waist. It was more of what Eric was doing. I never met a man who could point more than Eric Evelyn. But on a CCM campaign, as people know, we have fun. We enjoy ourselves because we have the kind of camaraderie, togetherness. We're not just candidates, you know, we're brothers. We're family. And that is why the CCM party has continued to be successful, because we are cohesive, we are one, we look out for each other, and we shall be successful. And so, ladies and gentlemen, this campaign is going to come back here tomorrow. It's going to come back here on Saturday. And we are going to continue to reach out to our people, to appeal to our people, to make the case to our people that based on our record, we are the best team to take the island of Nevis forward within the constellation of the Federation of St. Christopher and Nevis. The people of Nevis should have no doubt that when Mark Brantley goes to Church Street, when Eric Evelyn goes to Church Street, when Alexis Jeffers goes to Church Street, that they will have the best possible representation in Church Street. That is what we're able to do. And I'm sure from time to time, as Unity did, we will tell Church Street, you know what? Come and have the meeting on Main Street. Come Nevis and have the meeting. Because the people of Nevis must understand that they are no less than, Alexis Jeffers, I believe it was, put it best, they're not half a citizen, you know. We are a full citizen of our country. And this feeling that some seem to have had over the years that the people of Nevis were less than, I say CCM has changed that. We now have ambassadors around the world from Nevis, competent, capable, doing an excellent job. We now have our Speaker of the House, Supervisor of Elections, Chairman of Social Security, Commissioner of Police, all from Nevis, all doing an excellent job. When I go to St. Kitts and I walk in Bastille and I hear Kittians comment, they too recognize that they're doing an excellent job. That is what the country should be about. That is what we're trying to achieve. When we say that a young boy or girl from Jessup, from Cotton Ground, from Brick Hill, from Zion, from Rollin Mountain, from Henley Park, from Brown Hill, should have the ambition and the ability and the freedom to dream as big as he or she wants to dream. That he or she should be able to aspire to any position, any profession, any calling that he or she so desires. That he or she ought not be worse off because of the accident of his or her birth or need. That the young boy or girl Yeppe, in Molyneux, in Newtown, Cricket Bay, in Irish Town, in McKnight, wherever he or she might be from, should equally aspire to greatness. And we must create a society and a country where everybody is called upon to contribute. That each and every one of us enjoys the full fruits of his or her citizenship. That, my friends, is what unity is about. That, my friends, is what we in the CCM are committed to. And that, my friends, is what we shall achieve. So tonight, we now come to the end of this rally. I thank those who would have tuned in. I thank those who would have stayed with us. I know we have been a little long, but I think that information is important. And as the days flow, as we come back here to this beautiful campaign headquarters that we've created, we assure you that we will continue to make the case for the people of Nevis to send all three sinkers. All three. And so, for those who are yet with us, for those who are logged on, those who are listening via on radio, Facebook, YouTube, I say, as I always say, CCM, are you ready? CCM, are you ready? We are ready, ladies and gentlemen. And with the grace of God and your help, it will be 9, 10, and 11 going down to Church Street on June 5th. Thank you. Good night, and God bless you.
Can't keep up with the man down. Always keep a smile when they want me to frown. Keep the vibes and they to the mind round. They will never
My name is Mark Brantley. I'm the leader of the Concerned Citizens Movement Party, and I will be contesting the constituency of number 9, where I am currently the incumbent, and I'm asking the people of number 9 to stick with me and to keep the momentum. In 2015, the Concerned Citizens Movement took a decision to join with 2 political parties on St. Kitts to form Team Unity.
Thank you very much, Honorable Premier Mark Brantley, our representative for Nevis number 9, St. John's and St. Paul's. I want to say to all our viewers and all our listeners, thanks for being with us tonight. And we will be back here tomorrow evening, starting at approximately 8:01 p.m. (7:30) going live. 7:30 going live. And we hope that we will have another wonderful meeting tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for being with us. Have a wonderful evening. And to all of the persons who are here tonight, I hope that you will get home safely. Have a wonderful night, good night, and God bless.
Order. Still we striving for better, and we not gonna stop till the battle is won and we get justice.